John here. I'll bet you think I'm going to tell you that I am the John that wrote letters to the churches, or maybe you think I am the John that wrote Revelations, or maybe the guy that wrote the Gospel of John. Or maybe you think I am the John that stood at the cross and Jesus told me to look after his mother. Or maybe even that John that is known as the one Jesus loved. Well, I guess I should be honest and admit that yes, that is me. I did all these things. What I did, though, is not important. What is important is what Jesus did. I came from a little town, learning the trade of being a fisherman with my brother James and my friends, Simon and Andrew. I've always been known for being an ornery type of guy. The reputation got so bad that Jesus started calling me and James the sons of thunder. We were young, wild, and we were up for anything except following the rules. Well, I started following this guy. His name is also John, and John began teaching about the need to be baptized. So I did. I was doing great, changing my life a little in fishing. John tells me about this man that is greater than he is, and that he is not even worthy to untie his sandals. Why have I not heard of this guy? John tells me that he is his cousin, and that he was born of a virgin, and that he is a great man. Okay, so who is this guy? As I was helping John baptize one day, I see this guy, and John proclaimed that he was here, the one he was teaching me about. As I looked and I watched, I saw what appeared to be a dove land on this man, and I hear, "This is my son, in whom I am well pleased." I struggled for a long time to figure out who said that. I followed Jesus to talk to him, and eventually, with blessing of John, the baptizing man, I decided to learn from Jesus. Then Jesus called me to follow him. So, to the anger of my father, I followed. Jesus took me and my brother under his wing and worked with us on listening, behaving, and not fighting everyone we met. I was excited that we would be leading the march onto Jerusalem someday, and that I would get to be a king. My mom, she decided that James and I should be the greatest in the kingdom. We may have fibbed a little to Mom by telling her that Jesus had already promised us great honor and positions of power. So one day, dear sweet Mom decided that she would talk to Jesus personally and requested that James and I would be the second and third in command under King Jesus. Yeah, that didn't go over very well with the rest of the guys. I have always been a hothead, and a few times that almost got me into trouble. One day, a group of us were discussing what Jesus had been teaching so we could teach it to those in town, when a man came up to us wanting healing for his son. We thought we could do anything, for Jesus had given us power, and we had been able to do a few things, so we offered to help this guy. But the demon that was tormenting the boy refused to listen to us. Talk about embarrassing. We were disgraced in front of a lot of people, and we were thinking about what is going to happen when Jesus hears about this. He is not going to be happy that we have tarnished his name in front of all these people. And Jesus arrived. James and I were upset to the point we wanted to punch the guy in front of us for insulting us. But Jesus calmed us down and drove out the demon and healed the boy. Life lesson: I am not Jesus. Jesus taught us that what we were doing wrong, we were not connected to the Father in heaven. We were trying to rely on ourselves, and we were trying to do it on our own, not relying on God. The week before Jesus was killed, I learned so much about Jesus. I learned that Jesus likes to have fun, that Jesus supported us, and that Jesus will forgive us. Jesus knew it was time for the Passover, and he told us that he needed to go to Jerusalem. And James and I were sent to get the donkey that he was going to ride. I got to lead the people around us in shouting, "Hosanna! Blessed is the one who comes in the name of the Lord, the King of Israel." I thought, now's the time. Jesus is going to be crowned king, and he is going to overthrow Pilate. It is time to rule. This is going to be awesome. Jesus then proceeded to head to the temple, and seeing how late it was, he led us away so we could rest. I thought, good plan, rule tomorrow. The next day, Jesus goes back to the temple, and I watch as Jesus does what I like to do, have some fun. He made a whip and drove the animals out of the temple and chased the people selling animals out of the temple. My kind of fun. A little chaos when needed. But Jesus announced that they were doing evil in the house of Yahweh instead of the temple being a house of prayer. It was now a house of money. So glad I didn't make that mistake. After the Passover meal, Jesus led us to the garden to pray and strengthen ourselves. I was one of the disciples tasked with keeping watch and praying, but I kept falling asleep. Suddenly, Jesus tells us it's too late, and we fled as he was arrested. Even though we fled, Jesus still forgave us. Even though we messed up, we were forgiven.